Good morning. Oh, that lighting's wonderful, ain't it? Okay, hold on. Oh yeah, much better. Oh, it's the green. It's the green. So, Woodburn, Oregon. It is Monday. I think it's like 11ish. And so, let's see. This is vlog 17. Greenhorn Trucker vlog 17. So I kept telling you, I want to get home Saturday. I want to get home, and I don't know if I mentioned. I don't think so, but my daughter's wedding was Saturday, and I didn't really want to say nothing because I didn't want to jinx it, and I told them before I went that I wasn't going to be able to make it because I had a load to run down to Texas, and then sometimes just sitting for a day or two to get a load back, and so I was real excited when the broker sent me to Bryan, Texas, to pick up a load right away, And as I said, I ran down to the chicken farm and there a couple hours early, and finally they gave my door a little bit after 7 o'clock. And so, yeah, I'm sitting there watching load after load after load of chickens going by. And every now and then my truck would rumble a little bit, and it's like, man, I think they're killing those chickens and putting them on my truck, It's like, and then, like I said, I went to sleep, and I woke up. It was getting daylight out, and I still wasn't loaded. And I went and stuck my cell phone up, wedged it up between the dock and my door, and took a picture on the inside. I only had like 3 or 4 pallets on there or something. I was like, oh my God. Went in there and flipped out on him, man, and told him, man, my daughter's wedding is tomorrow. No, it's Sunday. Hey, this was, what was this? Yeah, it was Friday. It was Friday, like 10:30 or something when I got out of there in the daytime. I was there 18 hours. I was parked at the door. Okay, so I was there 20 hours. But I backed up to the dock at my 15 minutes after my appointment time, and I sat there for 18 hours because when I went there and was raising hell, I'm like, what do you guys like? Killing chickens and loading them on my truck? She goes, it's worse than that. You're only getting the drumsticks. I said, you need help catching fucking chickens or what? Excuse my French, man. It's like I was having a conniption fit. Like I said, I called Aziz, my boss, and everything, and he got on the horn and rattled some cages, man, and worked hard for it. And a couple hours later, man, I was loaded up and out of there. But still, it was 18 hours. Just absolutely horrendous. That's ridiculous, man. As a matter of fact, I wrote the company, the farm, a little letter, and I was really polite about it, and perspective and everything. Hello, my dear.
Uh-huh.
My beautiful wife came with me to deliver these chickens to Oregon. I'm doing my vlog.
Oh.
So anyway, where was I? So anyway, I take off, and my cruise control quit working. I was like, what? And then I went down this hill and realized my Jake brake's not working. So I know you've seen the vlog where I ran in and got that checked out, and they couldn't fix it. And, well, they could. I just didn't want to wait there for another day or two while they tore my truck apart. And I had a load to do, and I had a wedding to go to. But then I started doubting if I was going to make it or not. Basically, I had like 44 hours before the wedding started. No. Yeah, I did. And it was 34 hours if I drove nonstop for fuel or bathroom or anything, right? Well, that's not going to happen. And I mean, that was just like maintaining speed all the way there. Continuous driving. It didn't take that long to get to 34, and I got 44 hours. So there's a 10-hour, whatever will suck up time. Well, stopping to get my truck worked on sucked up, like 3 hours probably total by the time I actually got back on the highway, even though they only worked on it for a couple hours. But then there was paperwork and all that. So, now I'm down to 7 hours. And then I got stopped at every scale. It seemed like it was open. It was like, oh my God, they're open. Then coming down all the passes, I had to come down, and fourth or fifth gear, depending on the grade. 6% grade, you're looking at fourth gear. 5% grade, fifth gear, because no jake brake. So, that ate up time like crazy. And then, of course, I had to stop for fuel. And and the time just, and then the construction zones, a lot of construction going on this time of year. It just ate the time away. So I kept in touch with my wife, and I was telling her, I'm not going to make it. And first I told her, don't even tell them I'm coming, because I really wasn't sure I was going to make it. I was going to try. And I just kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and I'm not going to say I was legal, but I got off on the Highway 90, and I got on the 405 in Renton, and Saturday at noonish. So you can imagine what the traffic was like. It was like bumper to bumper all the way up into Burien, and I parked on the hill about a mile short of the actual wedding spot, and called and said, send somebody up for me. And I'm running down the hill, and I got about halfway there, and finally somebody showed up and ran me down there, and my wife had all my clothes and everything, so I threw on my clothes, and I made it, my co-pilot, he helped tremendously. Without him, I wouldn't have made it. And he's brand new. It was his first trip, and he, of course, you don't have your legs under you yet. It's really, you have to concentrate really hard, and it's strenuous. And, he's just a friend of mine who just, got a CDL, and, no experience, none. And so, I kept him down to 60, 65 miles per hour, in the flat regions, and a little bit hilly, some spots, but no big passes or nothing. But he did some driving, filling in here and there. And, boy, without that couple hour nap that I was able to get here and there, and I just, no way I would have made it. So props to Robert for helping me out, man. Made it possible for me to get to my daughter's wedding. And the wedding was awesome. And I had a really good time. My son officiated the wedding, did an excellent job. And we had a good time, lots of good food, good family. It was really great. So it was great to be able to walk my daughter down the aisle. My only daughter and her only wedding. Hear that, Kenny? So anyway, so let's see. Then, man, I made it home. I don't know. I wasn't home very long. About 7 o'clock or so, man, I was boom. I was out. I wasn't awake for 5 minutes when I laid on that bed. I grabbed a shower, went and laid on the bed, was gone. And unfortunately, I woke up about 4:30 in the morning because I'm just, your sleep is kind of sporadic when you drive. It just is. And day or night, it doesn't matter. It's all about, you catch a few hours of sleep and you drive. You catch a few hours of sleep and you drive. That 10 hours off, by the time you fuel up and you eat and you do this, it just eats that time up, and it doesn't seem like you ever get 8 hours sleep. I don't know. But you stop and take a couple hour nap and you drive more, And so it was nice. So I'd be home for a little bit, a short while, and then yesterday afternoon, which was Sunday, I started cleaning the truck and putting the truck back together, and got the laundry all done and everything, and drove to the yard and picked the reefer up. I left it in the yard and took the truck home so we could clean it out and do all that. Anyway, went back and picked it up. My wife came with me, and we drove down last night, parked at a rest area right down the street from the drop. And, of course, got up at 4:30 in the morning and got the truck warmed up and had some coffee and drove to the location. Was here 30 minutes early, 5:30 in the morning for a 6 o'clock drop. And you tell me your drop's not till 11. Of course not. Of course not. And, my paperwork says 6 o'clock. Well, I don't know why they keep doing that. Well, I know why. They want them to be there on time. But, so anyway, that's not uncommon. I've learned already. They always say 6 o'clock drop, either AM or PM, and you're always like mass hours early, it seems like. But anyway, they got on me here pretty quick. I mean, according to their schedule of drop, and as you can see, I'm bouncing around here. They're already unloading my truck. That's fantastic. Got on the Trucker Path app. Put a feeler out there trying to get a load back. I haven't heard back from that broker. I was seeing if I can get a load back, but I'm fixing to call my boss and see if our broker that we have can find me a load back without holding me up here too long. It doesn't really matter. I mean, if I had to sit for a few hours, it's better than running home empty. I'd rather make some money. So, especially since my wife's with me. So, I don't mind it so much. But anyway, yeah, I wrote the chicken company a little letter that, I'm punctual. I make my appointments. I was there 2 hours early. I try and be professional, punctual, and, courteous, and that, I'm a driver. I'm a truck driver. It's the way I make my living. It's the way I pay my bills and support my family. I do have a family. I'm a human being. And for you to put me at a door for 18 hours unpaid through I watched 3 of your shifts come of people, and to put me at a door for 18 hours while you slaughter your chickens is not very considerate to drivers. We are human beings too. We have lives, we have families, we have weddings to go to, we have birthdays and events, and we have a life. And to expect someone to sit for 18 hours without pay, I told them I get paid by the mile, and I understand that because of logistics and whatnot that we can't always keep our door appointment. But I was at the door. You guys put me on the door according to my appointment, and then I sat at the door for 18 hours. And if you guys don't have a load ready for someone to go, then you shouldn't schedule trucking for that load. It's just totally unreasonable to have people sit for 18 hours uncompensated. And not only that, you made it impossible for me to legally attend my daughter's wedding. And, basically shame on you for that. You guys need to change your policy. It's wrong. It sucks. Anyway, but I wasn't real nasty or anything. I basically just laid it out there and said, I have a legitimate complaint here. You guys should really take a look at it. It doesn't reflect well on your company, So there's that. If you care, you care. If you don't, you don't. So we'll see if I get any kind of response from that. And hopefully they'll consider that and change their policy a little bit about doing that to people. But, there is drama in the trucking lane. Most of the places really just don't care. They got so much going on that they just don't care. But maybe they will. You can always hope. Anyway, that's about it. Sitting here being unloaded. Wait and see if I can get a load home today. If not, I'll be running home empty. It ain't that far, 160 something miles. But hey, if I can make $500-600 hauling something back, I'd like to do that. Anyway, see you later, and keep you guys updated. Peace.